Welcome to today's Explainer. Let's just talk for a second about the modern executive's calendar. If you're a leader, a manager, or just a really busy executive, your day is probably a total blur of back-to-back meetings from 8 in the morning until 6 at night. Your inbox is completely overflowing. Your team needs constant guidance. And frankly, finding just one uninterrupted hour for deep strategic thinking feels like an absolute luxury. You already know your most precious commodity isn't capital, it's your time. So today, we're exploring three very specific AI tools that are so remarkably powerful, they actually feel like having superpowers. We're going to dive deep into how the absolute latest insights in AI adoption are fundamentally transforming how leaders operate day to day, shifting them completely away from those frustrating manual bottlenecks and accelerating them right toward high-speed strategic execution.
The underlying question we're really exploring today is a big one. You're going to wonder how you ever worked without them. Just think about your current workflow for a minute and the sheer volume of manual administrative tasks weighing you down. I mean, we've all experienced that dreaded Sunday evening, right? You're sitting at your kitchen table trying to mentally prepare for the week, but instead, you're spending 2 hours formatting a Monday morning status deck or just manually sifting through endless Google search results to find one single elusive market statistic to back up your quarterly projections. Well, the tools we're covering in this explainer are designed to completely upend that manual reality. Once you see how executives are actually deploying these in real-world scenarios, the friction of your current workflow is going to feel incredibly outdated. You will genuinely wonder how you ever managed to get anything done without them. And that brings us perfectly to the core value proposition for any leader, highlighted perfectly by this quote straight from our source material. These AI tools save me hours every day. Now, to be clear, we aren't not talking about saving 5 minutes here or there. We're just using flashy tech for the sake of it. We're talking about massive workflow streamlining time savings. But what does it actually mean to reclaim hours every single day? Well, it means you aren't just getting your time back, you are getting your strategic focus back. When you aren't drowning in busy work, you can finally shift from just putting out fires all day to proactively driving your business forward. You actually get the bandwidth to mentor your key team members, push high-level growth initiatives, and honestly, do the visionary work you were actually hired to do.
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, Section 1, the Executive AI Magic. Second, Gamma for instant presentation power. Third, Perplexity for smarter executive research. Fourth, ChatGPT as your 24/7 assistant. And finally, Section 5, what your next step should be.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the Executive AI Magic, and how it's transforming daily operations. Our source material emphasizes that adopting these three specific AI tools feels like magic. But let's be real for a second. As an executive, you know that magic in the business world really just translates to the total and complete elimination of friction. It's about taking a messy, multi-departmental process that used to require, say, 3 different analysts and a week of waiting, and collapsing the whole shebang down to a single query executed in seconds. Just imagine needing to compile regional sales data mixed with global demographic shifts. Historically, that meant sending a bunch of emails, waiting around for responses, and dealing with conflicting spreadsheet formats. Now, it means opening a tool, asking a question in plain English, and getting a synthesized, boardroom-ready answer instantly. The tools we're about to look at provide that exact magical reduction in your daily administrative load. Moving on to Section 2, Gamma, instant presentation power, creating slides in minutes. Picture this. You just wrapped up a highly successful impromptu strategy call at 3 in the afternoon. The ideas are brilliant, but there is a catch. You need to present these findings to the board in exactly 1 hour. Historically, this is where the sheer panic sets in, right? You have the strategy, but translating that into a professional slide deck usually means wrestling with software, frantically resizing images, and just trying to get text boxes to align perfectly while the clock is ticking down. Well, Gamma fundamentally changes this executive pain point. Step 1, you simply type your topic or just paste in your rough notes. You literally just tell the system what you need. Then, Step 2 happens. The system instantly creates professional-looking slides. It generates the narrative text, sources the appropriate images, and structures beautiful layouts completely automatically. You are no longer acting as an anxious graphic designer. You instantly become a high-level editor, just reviewing and tweaking the high-quality output generated for you in seconds.
Next up, Section 3, Perplexity, smarter executive research, getting clear answers with source links.
So every morning, executives are faced with the sudden need to gather market intelligence, fact-check, or understand complex new concepts right before high-stakes meetings. Let's say you have a major client call in 10 minutes and you desperately need to understand a sudden regulatory change in a foreign market they operate in. The old way of handling this is exhausting. You're frantically opening 10 different websites, skimming through endless dense paragraphs, dodging pop-up ads, and trying to piece together a coherent, accurate answer all by yourself. The new way utilizes Perplexity to bypass that frustration entirely. You get clear, synthesized answers instantly. But, and this is absolutely crucial for an executive whose reputation is on the line, it provides embedded source links. You get the intelligence way faster, but you also retain the absolute confidence of knowing exactly where that data came from. It ensures you never walk into a meeting pitching unverified information.
All right, Section 4. ChatGPT, your 24/7 assistant, handling all-day communications.
While Gamma handles presentations and Perplexity tackles your research, ChatGPT serves as the ultimate, versatile, personal assistant, tailored specifically for the demanding scope of an executive's day. Think about drafting a really delicate company-wide memo regarding a structural reorganization. You can use ChatGPT to instantly draft the email, fine-tuning the tone so it's empathetic yet authoritative for your internal teams, and then immediately ask it to draft a slightly different version for external stakeholders. Need to parse through a massive CSV file of customer feedback? It handles data analysis and coding. Need to coordinate a complex multi-city European roadshow for the executive team? It'll plan the entire itinerary, optimizing for travel time. And perhaps most powerfully, look, when you're the boss, it can be lonely at the top. You can use ChatGPT to act as a contrarian sparring partner. You can have it ruthlessly critique your upcoming Q3 strategy to help you find blind spots before you ever present it to the board. It is an assistant that never sleeps, doesn't need benefits, and, quite frankly, never takes a coffee break.
Finally, Section 5. What is your next step? Adopting the future of work. Knowing these tools exist is one thing, but actually integrating them into your daily workflow, that is where the magic happens, and the hours are ultimately saved. The artificial intelligence landscape is evolving at a truly staggering pace. Seriously, a tool that seems like magic today might just be the baseline standard tomorrow. Because of this, continuous learning is no longer optional for leadership. It's a necessity. Exploring resources and staying updated through platforms like NextGen AI, which actually inspired today's deep dive, is a brilliant way to discover new 60-second tool reviews and keep a pulse on the industry. Finding these small pockets of innovation and consistently applying them to your own workflows is exactly how modern executives are going to maintain their competitive edge in a fast-moving market. I want to leave you with a final thought to reflect on as you transition back into your busy day. We've looked at Gamma for instant, beautiful presentations, Perplexity for heavily cited, lightning-fast research, and ChatGPT for handling everything from delicate communications to strategic sparring. So, which one of these would you use first? I challenge you to identify the absolute biggest bottleneck in your day right now, pick the tool that solves it, and go experience that workflow magic for yourself. Remember, as a leader, time is, without a doubt, your most valuable asset, and adopting these tools is the absolute best way to protect it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.